Let's get started with a tutorial for Simulink, and you can use this for your project for electronics. If you don't have an account with MathWorks yet, go up to the upper right here, and this person in the circle here, this shadow, and then you can create an account there or sign into your own account. I've already signed in, so I'll click up here to MATLAB, and you're going to be using this this Simulink button here. So I click Simulink, and let's start a model. So one of the first things, let's take a look at a NAND gate and a lamp that can turn on. So the first thing I want to do is bring in something from the library. So here's the library here. Very important. So then you have a lot of these sub libraries. Dashboard, which will have things like gauges and displays in them. Logic bits, which we'll use. Math operations, we'll look at that. Sinks and sources, those are very important too. So let's bring in this AND gate here. Okay, I'm going to double click on it. Number of inputs 2. Operator, instead of AND, I want to change that to NAND. And instead of a rectangle, I want to make it distinctive so that it looks like the image of one of our NAND gates. Okay, so we want 2 inputs. So those are sources. So we go here to sources. I'm going to bring in a constant. Okay. And then I can wire this up by just clicking the 2 carets that are on the sides for the input and output. If I want to copy something, I hold down the right key on the block here, press Control, hold down Control, and then just drag it here, and that creates a copy. And then I can hook that wire up to there. I want to bring in next from the dashboard a lamp. So here's a lamp that'll turn on and off whether I have a 1 or a 0 coming out of the NAND gate. Now if I try to connect this to here, it doesn't like that. So what I have to do, let me close this here. So what I have to do first is grab a sink, and we're going to take this output here and bring it over here, connect the wire, and then when I click onto this lamp, I'm going to go up here to connect, click connect, and then click onto the wire. And then you want to click onto this circle here, and then you can close it. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay, we can change the color of the lamps. Let's make 0 red. You can set that. We'll use the plus sign here to make the number 1 a green. So we have red and green depending on whether we have 0 or 1 coming out of this NAND gate. So if I just run this, I have a 1 and a 1 going in. So I get a red. And now I can double click on this constant and change one of these to a 0. Any 0 gives a 1 in a NAND gate. And then if I run it again, it's green because it's a 1 now coming out. Okay, so that shows you the use of a lamp and a digital gate and some inputs. Next, let's take a look at something else. We're going to generate a random number and put that in a display. So I want to bring in a constant from the source. Bring in a constant. Now I can just double click and I'm going to type in RANDI with an argument of 1,000 minus 1, so that'll be a number up to 999, and say OK. Let me make this a little bit bigger here so it actually shows what's inside of here. And then before I bring it in, I'm going to bring in a display next, so we're going to go to the dashboard and bring in display. Okay, let me put it here. Now, if I try to connect that to the output of this, it doesn't work. Let me close this. So what you have to do is you have to bring a sink in, say this simple output here, and then wire it up. And then now when I click connect, I can connect onto that wire. And I have to fill this little circle here. Let me go back. Fill the circle. I can close this. And then if I click run, there's a random number. If I click run again, I get a different number. And now I want to be able to pick out one of the digits of this random number. So I'm going to go into math operations here and find math function and bring the math function in. Okay. And then I also want to bring in a constant. So I'm going to go to sources, bring in a constant. So I can go back up here to the math function and I can change that from exponential to modulus. Say OK. So that has two inputs. So I'm going to take the input from this constant and the input from this wire here. Okay, so now I have two inputs into here. So I want to take the, go back here. I want to copy this this readout here. So I'll hold the right key down on it, hold control down, and bring this over. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. Connect these. And then I want to connect this. Connect this to this. Fill in the circle there. Okay, I'll change this to 10 because that's going to divide the random number by 10. And then when I run it, it picks out the least significant because I divide by 10 and the remainder is 7. So that shows how you can do that. So this not only generates a random number, it shows it on a display, and then this modulus picks out one of the digits of the random number. So the last thing we want to do is use a pulse generator and a scope output. So let's bring in a constant. Let's bring in a pulse generator. And then let's also bring in our NAND bit, or AND. Okay, let's double click on this, change it to a NAND again, change the icon shape. Okay, I can click that and wire up. So I have a constant and a pulse generator going into the NAND. So the next thing I want to do is bring in a scope sync. Here's the scope here. And then I can just wire this up. So now when we double click on this function generator, has an amplitude of 1. Let's set the period equal to 1, and the pulse width, let's set it to 80. Now you can't see at the bottom here, but you have to be able to click OK, and that was hidden before that. Okay, and then make sure the stop time here is 10. Okay, so let's run it. Double click on it, and there's the scope output. So 80% of the time it was a 0, and the other 20% of the time it was a 1, because we have a NAND gate. Okay, so let me change this to a 0. Any 0 gives a 1 in a NAND. So when I run this, it's just a straight line, and the value is 1 because it's always 1. Okay, so to be able to save this, I say File, let's save as, and I'm going to call this testing sim. It's not a word. Testing sim is not a dictionary word. If you use dictionary words, it usually doesn't like that. Okay, so now it's testing sim should be, let me close the library here. It appears over here in the left as one of the saved programs.